1 week later, one bus ride later. The next morning, many exam questions later. The next morning, many hours later. 2 minutes later, several hours later. Several thousand ripped pants later. 1 hour later. Several months later. 200 whoopsies later. 6 stinky months later. Several weeks later. Later that night. Abracalater. Many parts of the process later. The next day. A few hours later. The next morning. 5 minutes later. Hundreds of autographs later. 7 hours later. 2 to 3 years of post-production later. 10 minutes later. The next day. The next morning. One beauty nap later. Meanwhile, across town. One busy day later. 13 hours later. Several hours later. Many wishes later. Meanwhile.
0 morning. 5 minutes later.